Hawkeye is without a doubt one of Marvel Comics' greatest marksmen. Green Arrow, too, is one of the strongest archers in the DC universe. The similarities among the two have caused much debate among fans over the years about who is the better archer. Beyond their abilities, the two are very similar in other parts of their personalities. But let's compare the two of them in today's video, as this is Hawkeye vs. Green Arrow. Despite the fact that each has its own set of advantages and disadvantages, they have both proven to be extremely valuable members of their respective teams. However, in a one-on-one conflict, there are still several elements that favor one side over the other. To add to the discussion, here is our take on Hawkeye vs. Green Arrow debate and who is the better marksman. This is an argument that has only gotten stronger in recent years, as the public has grown increasingly dissatisfied with each arrow-loving character. Both figures have a lot of support from both sides of the party. Outside of fan fiction, we won't know who would win this hypothetical war until Disney buys out DC, a proposition that seems to be getting closer with each passing day. Nonetheless, based on what we know about the characters and their backgrounds, we may make an educated judgment as to who would win if they were pitted against each other. When it comes to arrow shooting, it's difficult to say who is the better of the two. Hawkeye and Green Arrow are both masters of their weapons, and it's via their bows and arrows that they've been able to find their purpose in life while living in the harshest of environments. Hawkeye, on the other hand, may be the better archer of the two. Of course, it's not by much, but Hawkeye is likely to have the more constant accuracy. He's renowned as the man who never misses, a moniker bestowed on him with care. Hawkeye is ready to go if he has a bow and arrow. However, when it comes to genuine brawls, Green Arrow may have the upper hand. Green Arrow understands how to manage himself with his martial arts skills and stealth combat, and he never gives up without a fight. When compared to Hawkeye, he lacks projectile consistency, but he makes up for it with mobility and the ability to smack someone in the face. Hawkeye's fighting technique is a little more unique, which will hinder him more than aid him in the hypothetical conflict. Furthermore, because Green Arrow is known for his solo fighting abilities, he may be better suited to manage himself without assistance. Hawkeye, on the other hand, is frequently shown battling alongside the Avengers and functioning as part of a team. That isn't to imply Hawkeye isn't capable of handling himself in a one-on-one situation. In addition, Green Arrow occasionally collaborates with a lesser team as well as the Justice League. When it comes to comparing their leadership qualities, though the Arrowverse's version of Oliver Queen possessed the leadership skills to lead his crew, the comic book version of the character does not. True, he has enlisted the help of heroes in the past. His entrance in Kingdom Come demonstrates this. He doesn't have what it takes to lead a team like the Justice League. Hawkeye, on the other hand, has a lot of team-leading experience. He was responsible for bringing the original West Coast Avengers up to the level of the East Coast Avengers. He also assisted the Thunderbolts villains turned heroes into honing their abilities. Both Street Fighters have honed their archery skills with the help of others. As a result, in their separate realities, they became the next generation of archers. Ollie has two teenagers to whom he wanted to leave his legacy. Roy Harper, the former Speedy, was the first one, of course. Connor Hawke, Ollie's son, was the other. When his father gave his life to save Metropolis from destruction, he became Green Arrow. When Clint was considered dead, Kate Bishop assumed the role of Hawkeye. Kate joined the Young Avengers after honing her already impressive archery skills. Clint permitted Kate to maintain the name and supported her in her training after he returned from the grave. Furthermore, whereas Green Arrow's arrow skills go beyond basic consistency, Green Arrow, in true Robin Hood manner, can shoot up to 29 arrows at once, which is a skill that can undoubtedly deliver fantastic outcomes and frequently with flair. Hawkeye, on the other hand, employs a variety of arrows. While he may not be able to fire as many as Green Arrow, it only takes one of his to make a difference. And if he has the perfect arrow with the right powers, a single bullet can cause a lot of damage. Not to forget, teamwork. Both archers are dedicated to their heroic duties. Hawkeye, on the other hand, has the upper hand when it comes to collaboration. True, he's had his disagreements with leaders, particularly Captain America, but they've rarely escalated into full-fledged brawls. During the early days of the Justice League, Green Arrow, on the other hand, was a team player. He didn't start having problems with Superman, Batman, and other members until the late 1960s, when his conscience evolved. The majority of his conflicts stemmed from differences in how he and Hawkman dealt with villains. Comparing their enemy power level, Hawkeye, unfortunately, does not have any signature villains of his own. Green Arrow, on the other hand, has fought Dark Archer, Count Vertigo, Shadow, and a slew of other villains. That's not to say Hawkeye hasn't helped defeat huge dangers, but his job in the Avengers is fairly comparable to that of Green Arrow in the Justice League. They've all had their times to shine among the other members, and they've all struck terrible blows against enormous dangers. Green Arrow, on the other hand, has a distinct advantage when it comes to enemies who are specific to him. Winner. Finally, it's difficult to tell who is the better hero because their shared humanity and grounded perspectives are vital in worlds populated by heroic muscle men like Superman and Captain America. However, the balance of power may have to swing in favor of Green Arrow in the end. While Hawkeye may be able to hit his opponent with the right arrow more often than not, the optics suggest that Green Arrow is better equipped to deal with any situation in general. If he sees fit, he can adapt to diverse fighting methods, and he never lets failure be an option. That willpower and skill could be enough to drive him over the edge. While Hawkeye has a lot to offer in the Marvel Universe, Green Arrow has a lot more to offer in the DC Universe. In addition, his archery talents and the relationships he's made over the years give him a distinct advantage against Hawkeye. Green Arrow is such an important character in the DC Universe that he recently got a technology from Martian Manhunter that can destroy the whole Justice League. At the moment, Manhunter told Green Arrow that he was so pure of heart that he believed Oliver would only use the gadget if he thought the League was doomed. Hawkeye, unfortunately, does not measure up to Oliver's stature in either his universe or as an archer.